Welcome to the ShowMeVax training on adding historical and administered immunizations. Using your ShowMeVax login information, you will log into the system. After you log in, you will come to our home screen. As you'll notice, you'll have your default provider in your clinic, your login history for you as the user, and then the news section. The news section will have any news that is related to the ShowMeVax system. For example, if we need to have the system down and not in use due to maintenance, we will put a note there to notifying all ShowMeVax users that the system will be down for such a period of time. Over here on the left, you've got your navigational menu. And under each menu, there will be other modules. And by clicking on the plus sign, this will expand that menu to go to the other modules underneath those different sections. User defaults, if you want to, are over here. You've got your login, which is under the drop-down arrow next to your username. You got where you log out. Change your password questions, set up user defaults, clinic vaccine defaults, and your user vaccine defaults. These are all defaults that you can set up for you as a specific user to help aid in data entry. Okay, so to add in historical immunization, the first thing we have to do is search for a client. So we're going to go over here to the plus. We're going to search for a client. Search. If one of these are our clients, then we go over here as we hover over to the drop-down arrow, and we're going to click on immunizations to be taken to their immunization record. Here's their immunization record. Anything that's in a blue H is a historical immunization that has been entered by a clinic that was given at another clinic. Otherwise, it will list who was the administering provider. And if you hover over, it will give you a little bit more information. It'll also tell you that they're not due for any immunizations at this time, or if they were, then as of the current date, those immunizations would be listed here. Also, it will tell you if they have a history, if it's been marked in the system, whether or not for varicella. So to add it in historical immunization, we're going to click on the drop down. We're going to click on Add History. If it's a child that's receiving that you're entering for, you can go up here to Show and click on Show Child Vaccine, so it narrows it down a little bit. If you want to take ownership of this patient, in other words, they're going to be coming to your clinic to receive immunizations in the future, you can go ahead and mark this. Otherwise, once you actually entered an administered shot, then that client will be associated to your clinic. You would enter the dates across here. If it's the current date, then you can just double click. Since this is historical, it had to be a previous date. So I'm just going to enter 19 there. I'm just going to do those two dates, for example. And then you would just go down here and then you would just check mark the vaccines that they received on that particular day. And then once you're complete, we would click on the green Create button. Oh, I forgot a date. The system will tell you if you have an error, if you're missing something. Now I'm going to get a warning because I gave immunizations that they were not needed. So since I did do that and realized it and got this warning, I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. And instead of for that warning, and then I've got these immunizations that I did enter in here. If I did that in error, I can click the update button. And then I could go up here and click the delete. to delete those out of there as being incorrect. Otherwise, they're going to have that be marked with the exclamation point that they are an invalid dose. Another way to enter a historical immunization, as well as immunizations that have been administered, is going to be by the IZ Quick Add menu. So if I'm going to expand this, I'm going to go in here and search for my client. Search. I'm going to, if I don't have any updating to do on their demographics, I can go over here to this drop-down arrow and click on immunizations. And now you'll see I have administered and add history. So I can go ahead, they're saying as of today, this particular client needs a HIB. If I had historical information enter, I can enter it on this screen as well. And I'm going to go ahead and add as an administered. And it's as of today. So he needs that HIB today and he is going to get it. So I'm going to double click in the date for the current date. And then I'm going to search for HIB. I'm going to tab to the next to the manufacturer field. And that way it narrows down to the selections that they are. And then the lot number. These are not required fields. However, if you are a vaccines for children's provider, you need to enter the lot number for reporting purposes. Body site's not required. And then for pharmacy users, the things that are required for you, you would need to click on details. And then you can enter all this information, the funding administered by, the NDC number, expiration, the dosage, and the route. For VFC providers, you will click to choose the funding for the reporting aspect. So when you get ready to do your reports, you'll be able to run a report to show what doses were administered during that period of time that you're reporting. But everybody else, this is not required. However, it is just more information on that client. And once again, if you want to be able to run reports and capture this information, that information does need to be entered. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Save. And I'm going to go ahead and add a body site. And then that's the only immunizations that they were getting for the day that we were administering. Then you would just click Create. And then you'll notice that down here, it added it to their immunization. And it also gave me the manufacturer, the lot number, and the site that it was administered by. If I was entering historical, same way as before, I would click on Add History. I would enter the dates up here. And then since this is child, I'm going to go ahead and narrow it down to the child vaccines. And I would just select which ones they received. And then hit Create. There is a report that you can run under Reports. Under Patient Management, we'll give you patient details with services. You just need to put an immunization date, when it was received, do from the 1st of January through current day. I'm going to run report. And this will list all clients that received immunizations. Expand this for you. Their date, what they received, their lot number, what their, if they're a VFC program provider, what their eligibility was. That is one report to be able to capture. The other report is under, if you're using the inventory portion of ShowMeVax, under aggregate administered doses. I'm going to use the same dates. Oops. And this will list by vaccine, by lot number, and then how many doses were given for those particular vaccines. And these can be printed by clicking on the print icon up here. That concludes the training for adding historical and administered doses into ShowMeVax. Thank you.